Good morning. Today we are going to do the analysis of rigid joint frames. Rigid joint frames, the predominant forces, bending moment and shear force. So we'll see the case, a rigid joint frame analysis by stiffness method, element approach. So I'm taking as the first case, analysis of a portal frame without any sway. So the portal frame is a frame like this. It will be having a single story portal frame I have shown here, two columns and a beam. It is having same EI throughout. That is all the three members, the two columns as well as beam is having the same flexural rigidity. EI is flexural rigidity. And the loading is perfectly symmetric. It spans over the entire span BC. So if it's a perfect frame, a symmetric frame, there will not be any lateral force and there will not be any lateral displacement or there will not be any sway displacement. So this is a frame which is perfectly symmetric. Both the legs are of the same length, same moment of inertia throughout. This loading is also symmetric. There is no lateral load. So it is a frame without any sway. So the stiffness method of analysis, what is the first step? The first step is we have to identify, step 1, we have to identify the degree of freedom or kinematic indeterminacy of the structure. Degree of freedom means what are the possible independent displacements, what are the possible movements. Looking into this figure, it is a hinge. At the hinge, it can have a rotation. So I mark it as D1. At this point B, there can be a rotation or slope D2. At point C, there is a rotation, and point D, there is a rotation. Since there is no sway, there is no lateral displacement. If it is a frame with sway, there will not be, in addition to this, there will be this displacement of this column. In this case, there is no lateral displacement. It is a frame having 4 degrees of freedom. So this is, I have marked as the structure coordinates. So I have marked 1, 2, 3, 4, rotation at all the nodes. See whether any known boundary condition. Here the boundary conditions, all the boundary conditions are existing because it's a hinge, rotation is possible. If it has been a fixed end, suppose it's a fixed end, I can write D1 is equal to 0. But here, being a hinge, all the degrees of freedoms are existing. So there is no known boundary conditions which are 0. So all the degrees of freedoms are there. So degree of freedom is 4. That is theta A, theta B, theta C and theta D. Now we have to split the structure into elements. So this degree of freedom is 4. They are the rotations theta A, theta B, theta C, theta D. Now you split up into elements. The first element, say A, B, the two nodes. The second element, B, C, and the third element, C, D. So I have divided into 3 elements. So the structure is an assembly of 3 elements put together. What are the coordinates? The first element, this coordinate is D1. This is D2. For the second element, joint B, it is D2, D3. For this third element, it is D3, D4. So these are called the element coordinates. This is the first step. Identify the degree of freedom, mark the structure coordinates, see if there is any known boundary conditions. From that you find out what are the degrees of freedom. Then split up into elements and mark the coordinates at 2 ends of the elements. So now come to the second step, the element stiffness matrix. Consider element 1 by 1. The first element, AB. For element AB, this is the element AB. The coordinates at the 2 ends are D1 and D2. So for a beam element, you can stand here and look in this direction. So that is a beam element with rotational degrees of freedom at the two nodes. So the stiffness matrix for element AB, KAB is equal to EI by L. Length of that member is 3 meter. This member is 3 meter. This is 6 meter. This is 3 meter. So EI by 3 into 4, 2, 2, 4. So I can write it as EI into 4 by 3, 1.33. It is 0.67, 0.67, 1.33. So the stiffness matrix for the first element. Now you write down the coordinates at the top as well as side. The coordinates are 1 and 2. So write 1, 2, 1, 2. That is required for assembling the matrix. Then second element, BC. Second element BC, the coordinates are 2 and 3. So I can write KBC is equal to EI by L. EI by 6, 4, 2, 2, 4. So that is equal to EI into 4 by 6, 0.67, 0.33, 0.33, 0.67. What are the coordinates? 2 and 3. For the second element, the coordinates are D2, D3. So write 2, 3 at the top as well as on the left. Next for the element CD, the third element CD, that is also an element, a column element like this. This end it is having D3, this end it is having D4, and the length is 3 meter. So KCD is equal to EI by 3 into 4, 2, 2, 4. So that is equal to EI into, similar to this, 1.33, 0.67, 0.67, 1.33. And write down the coordinates, numbers, that is 3 and 4. So write 3, 4, 3, 4. So now you have arrived at the stiffness matrix for all the elements with rotation degrees of freedom alone. EI by L into 4, 2, 2, 4. Just substitute the length value, and if there is change in cross section, we have to substitute EI also. So you have arrived at all the element stiffness matrices. Now we can write down the structure stiffness matrix from the element stiffness matrix elements. So look into the structure stiffness matrix. It's a 4-degree freedom system. It should be a 4 by 4 matrix. So I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now properly post the elements from the element stiffness matrix. First matrix, first element AB, it was 1.33, 0.67, 0.67, 1.33. The first element is in location 1, 1. So in location 1, 1, 1.33. And next element 1, 2, it is 0.67. Then below that 2, 1, it is 0.67 and 1.33. So I have posted the elements from the first element stiffness matrix. Then coming to the second element that starts from the location 2, 2. So here 2, 2, this is the location. In that location we have 0.67, just to the right of that 2, 3, it is 0.33, and below that 3, 2, it is 0.33, and next to that it is 0.67. So from the second element I have started at location 2, 2, 0.67, right of that, below that, again to the right of that. The 4 elements from the second element is posted. Coming to the third element, it starts from location 3, 3. In the 3, 3 location we have to add 1.33. So 3, 3 location, 3, 3. This is the location. We have to add 1.33. Then 3, 4. Next to the right of it, it is 0.67. Then 4, 3. In the 4, 3 location, it is 0.67. And 4, 4 location, it is 1.33. So I have shown with different color pens. The first element black, the second element posting, the third element posting. So certain locations we have additions here and here. Add it together and get the stiffness matrix for the structure. So I am going to write down the stiffness matrix by adding it together here itself. The stiffness matrix is 2. Here also 0.67 plus 1.33. 2. So we look into the stiffness matrix. Other remaining elements are, this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So the stiffness matrix is a diagonally dominant matrix and it is symmetric, and the 0 elements are away from the diagonal. These properties we have seen initially in the initial introduction class. So the stiffness matrix is a 4 by 4 matrix and it is a perfectly symmetric matrix. Now next step. So we have got the structure stiffness matrix, a 4 by 4 matrix. Next step is equivalent joint load vector. Equivalent joint load vector P is equal to P0 minus Pf. Of that, what is P0? P0 is the externally applied loads. If there are any externally applied loads at the nodes, that is node A, B, C, D. If there are any externally applied point loads or moments, that should come in this P0 vector. In this particular question, there is no load at the nodes. Only load is in the element BC, 10 kN per meter UDL. Therefore, this P0 vector here is 0. Since no loads, no external loads at selected nodes. Since there are no external loads at the selected nodes, P0 vector is equal to 0. Next, let us consider the PF vector. PF vector is the fixed end moment vector. We have to consider element by element. Consider the first element AB. The first element AB in the question, it was a hinge. It was AB. The element was AB. And there was no load in this element. In the question, there is no load. Therefore, and the coordinates for the elements were, this is D1 and this is D2. Therefore, you can write PF1 and PF2 for that element are 0, 0. Since there was no load acting in the element, if there were some UDL or some point load in this element, there will have been fixed end moment vector accordingly. So here, since there is no load in this element, this is 0. Next, coming to the second element BC, the element BC was having a load 10 kilonewton per meter and of span 6 meter. This is joint B, joint C, and the coordinates which are given is D2, D3. So corresponding to coordinate 2 and corresponding to coordinate 3, what are the fixed end moments? So for a beam with UDL, we know the fixed end moment. For this beam with UDL, the fixed end moment values are it is W L square by 12. That is 10 into 6 square by 12 works out to 30. Here also the fixed end moment is 30 kilonewton meters. So I can write PF2 corresponding to coordinate direction 2. It is 30 but anti-clockwise. So minus 30 and plus 30. Corresponding to coordinate direction 2 is clockwise direction. The moment is anti-clockwise. So minus 30 plus 30. Now coming to the third element, CD. This is element CD bearing numbers D3, D4. In that column also there was no external load acting on the element CD. Acting on this element CD, here also no load. Therefore, I can write PF3 PF4 are 0, 0. Thus, the element by element, we have written the fixed end moment vector. Now, for the structure as a whole, if you consider the structure as a whole, the PF, capital PF for the structure. There are 4 degrees of freedom for the structure. So there should be element corresponding to 1. Corresponding to 1, it is 0 from the first element. Corresponding to, it is 0 from the first element. And from the second element, it is minus 30. For the third element, it is 3 is 30. From the fourth element, it is 0. And corresponding to 4, also it is 0. So the PF vector is 0, minus 30, 30, 0. This is for the structure. Now coming to the load vector P, equivalent joint load vector P is equal to P0 minus PF. Here P0 is 0. So 0 minus these things, it will be 0. 0 minus 30, 30. 0 minus plus 30. So it is minus 30, 0. So that is the load vector. So next step is, we have got the 4x4 stiffness matrix. We have got the right hand side vector P. You solve the equation K into D is equal to P. Now solving this is a 4x4 equation. K matrix is 4th order matrix, and this is also right hand side vector is also available. So I'll give you the answers only. You check the solution yourself. D1, D2, D3, D4. Solving the equation, we will get D1, D2, D3, D4 is 1 by EI into minus 11.25, 22.5, minus 22.5 and 11.25. So for solution of that 4x4 matrix will give you the answers of D1, D2, D3, D4. That means this is theta A, theta B, theta C and theta D in radians. Now the last step is final moments. The expression is M is equal to fixed end moment vector for the element plus stiffness matrix of the element Ke into displacement vector Pf plus Ke into D. Consider element by element. The first element AB. For the first element AB, this was the coordinate D1, and the second node it was D2. This A and B. So corresponding to coordinate direction 1, we will get the result. Corresponding to this, we get the result MAB. And corresponding to the direction 2, we get the result MBA. That is equal to fixed end moment vector. The fixed end moment, there was no load in this element, so the fixed end moment vector was 0. Plus element stiffness matrix. The stiffness matrix for that element was EI into 1.33, 0.67, 0.67, 1.33. And the numbers at the top are 1 and 2. I have written, for the first step, it is 1, 2. So you multiply it with D1, D2. D1 is minus 11.25. D2 is 22.5 into 1 by EI. So it's cancelled and you check the answer. You will get it as 0, 22.5 for the first element. Similarly, we can get it for the second element BC. For this element BC, the coordinates were 2 and 3. So corresponding to coordinate direction 2, we will get the result MBC, and corresponding to this 3 direction, we will get the result MCB, that is equal to fixed end moment. For this element there was fixed end moment minus 30 and plus 30 plus stiffness matrix of that element EI into it was 0.67, 0.33, 0.33, 0.67 multiplied with the numbers were 2 and 3. So you take D2, D3. D2 is 22.5, D3 is minus 22.5 and we'll get the result multiplying. We'll get minus 22.5 and plus 22.5. Similarly, you get the result for the last element MCD. Similar lines for the element CD. Okay, for the element CD, this was C, this is D, the coordinates were D3 and D4. So we'll write corresponding to 3, we'll get MCD, corresponding to 4, you will get MDC is equal to fixed end moment. Fixed end moment, there was no load on that element, so it is 0. Plus stiffness matrix for that element, EI into 1.33, 0.67, 0.67, 1.33. It was 3 and 4. These numbers were 3 and 4. So you multiply with D3, D4. D3 is minus 22.5 and D4 is 11.25. And you will get the answer as minus 22.50. So thus we have got the bending moment in all the three elements A, B, B, C and C, D. The last step is to draw the bending moment diagram based on the obtained value. So the last final step to draw the bending moment diagram. So for that you draw the frame. A, B, C, D. Consider the first element AB. For the first element AB, it was 0 at A. So it's a hinge, so it should be 0. Okay, right. MBA is 22.5. This clockwise. So B to A, place your pen like this. 22.5 clockwise. So it moves in this direction, clockwise direction. So 22.5, mark here. 22.5 and join it. And write the unit kilonewton meter. Coming to second span MBC, B to C, place it like this. Minus 22.5. Minus 22.5 means anti-clockwise. It should go anti-clockwise. It should rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So this is anti-clockwise. 22.5 here. And MCB is 22.5. C to B, place it like this. Clockwise, so it should go up at the point C, 22.5 clockwise, join it. Then coming to the last element CD, MCD is minus 22.5, C to D, place it like this, minus anti-clockwise, so anti-clockwise in this direction. So it is 22.5 and this is 0. The hinge should be 0. So here what we have done is correct. So these are the support moment diagrams. Then on this span there was a UDL. So superimpose the simply supported bending moment diagram. With the central value W L square by 8. It was 10 kilonewton meter and W 10, L 6, W L square by 8 works out to 45. This is 45 kilonewton meter. Now you hatch. So this portion you stand here and look in this direction and this direction. So if you draw it on the outside side, it is hogging. This is hogging. This portion is sagging. This portion is hogging. This is also hogging. Then hatch it. So this is the final bending moment diagram for the structure. Okay, so the analysis of a rigid joint frame or a portal frame without any sway is just like the analysis of a continuous beam. Only rotational coordinates, add element by element, arrive at the stiffness matrix. Thank you.